Hi there, and welcome to the Celeb Tea. When Lala Kent first stormed onto Vanderpump Rules, she was impossible to ignore. Loud, beautiful, and strikingly blunt, she didn't just appear on the show, she dominated it. Her sharp tongue and unwavering confidence instantly made her stand out from the rest of the cast. Viewers were divided. Some admired her unapologetic honesty, while others saw her as arrogant and cruel. But no matter which side you were on, one thing was undeniable. Lala demanded attention. From the very start, her presence was electrifying. "You're not better than me," she snapped at one co-star, her voice dripping with defiance. "You're not above anyone just because you have a rich boyfriend." It was the kind of raw, unfiltered confrontation that made her both hated and fascinating. Yet beneath the fierce attitude and fearless comebacks was something deeper, a craving for attention that seemed impossible to satisfy. Lala didn't just want to be seen, she wanted control. To some, she represented power and fearlessness. To others, she was manipulative and mean-spirited. The truth, as always, lay somewhere between. From her earliest appearances, Lala's story was one of ambition tangled with chaos. She spoke about empowerment, but often used humiliation as her weapon. Her rise to fame was fast, but it came with a cost, a price she would pay not in dollars, but in dignity and peace of mind. Before the designer handbags and red carpet appearances, Lala Kent was simply Lauren Elise Birmingham, a girl from Utah with dreams too big for her small-town life. She longed for something greater, something glamorous. But Hollywood wasn't a place that rewarded kindness or humility. It was a world that thrived on audacity. So Lala adapted. She reinvented herself. New name, new style, new persona. By the time she joined Vanderpump Rules in Season 4, she knew exactly how to play the game. Be bold, be dramatic, never apologize. Mystery and controversy became her brand. She hinted at secret romances, flaunted luxury gifts, and mastered the art of being talked about. Fame wasn't a byproduct for her. It was the goal. And she achieved it, though not by inspiring admiration, but by provoking strong reactions. Hollywood gave her the spotlight, but it also magnified her flaws. Lala's quick temper and relentless self-promotion turned her into one of the most polarizing figures on Bravo. Her on-screen battles were loud and vicious, but they kept her relevant. Every insult, every meltdown added fuel to her fame. She called it owning her truth. Others called it manipulation. Off-screen, her social media presence was just as volatile. She posted cryptic captions, fiery rants, and live videos that blurred the line between performance and reality. What might have been ordinary drama for most people became headline material for her. Fans who once admired her boldness began to see cruelty instead. The more criticism she faced, the more defensive and aggressive she became. Still, Lala was a master at spinning chaos into attention. She turned every controversy into a conversation about herself. But over time, that strategy started to collapse. Her life, once seemingly perfect, began to unravel publicly, starting with her relationship with Hollywood producer Randall Emmett. At first, their romance looked like something out of a movie: private jets, luxury vacations, and red carpet appearances. Lala often referred to him as "my man" on social media before even revealing his name. It all looked picture perfect until the cracks began to show. Rumors of cheating, lawsuits, and professional scandals surrounding Randall began to circulate, and suddenly Lala's glamorous world didn't seem so shiny. When the truth surfaced, it wasn't just her heart that broke, it was her public image. She had once flaunted a love story that now looked like a lie. Critics accused her of turning a blind eye to red flags because she enjoyed the lifestyle. As Randall's reputation plummeted, so did hers. The woman who had preached independence and self-worth now looked complicit in the very behavior she used to condemn. The breakup was messy, public, and painful. Tabloids dissected every detail: the emotional manipulation, the alleged infidelity, and the fallout. Lala tried to reclaim her image by presenting herself as a devoted mother and resilient entrepreneur. She launched her own brand, Give Them Lala, selling makeup and clothing under the banner of empowerment. But behind the glossy branding, more problems surfaced: lawsuits, financial disputes, and accusations of dishonesty from former partners. Her empire, once a symbol of success, began to crumble. What was meant to represent strength and independence instead exposed instability and ego. Fans who had once rooted for her started questioning everything she stood for. The woman who used to boast about boss energy now looked more like someone struggling to maintain control over a collapsing image. Even when she tried to shift her focus to positivity, her actions told a different story. The controversies kept coming, each one louder than the last. When a private FaceTime video involving another cast member, Raquel Leviss, became public, the network urged everyone to stay quiet, but Lala couldn't resist the attention. Instead of handling it privately, she went live on Instagram, mocking the situation and taunting those involved. What could have been handled with grace became another scandal, another reason for fans to turn away. To many, it confirmed what they already suspected, that Lala's empathy ended where the camera began. The fallout from the Raquel incident had barely settled when another controversy struck. Former Vanderpump Rules star Faith Stowers filed a lawsuit against Bravo, claiming that the network and several cast members, including Lala, had participated in a culture of exploitation and harassment. Faith accused them of manipulating her into uncomfortable situations and targeting her unfairly for drama. Lala denied any wrongdoing, but her inclusion in the lawsuit only worsened her reputation. To longtime viewers, it wasn't surprising. Her history of insults, dismissive behavior, and combative energy fit too easily into the allegations. Even if she wasn't guilty of what was claimed, her public image made her an easy villain. What had once been seen as confidence was now viewed as cruelty. The public wasn't laughing with Lala anymore. They were laughing at her. Throughout her time on the show, Lala's temper became her defining feature. She screamed, insulted, and stormed off sets in moments that became viral clips. Whether she was fighting Sheena Shea, James Kennedy, or Katie Maloney, her conflicts were never simple disagreements. They were full-blown wars. Even when she apologized, her tone often sounded more performative than sincere. Her emotions were real, but they always seemed amplified, exaggerated for the camera. What once made her entertaining started to feel exhausting. Fans began to wonder whether Lala even knew where the character ended and the real person began. As the seasons went on, her fiery personality no longer looked like strength. It looked like desperation. Every fight, every social media rant, and every teary confession started to blur together into a cycle of chaos she couldn't escape. And then came her downfall on Instagram. What had once been her biggest asset, a platform to connect with fans, turned into her most destructive weapon. Lala used social media like a diary, airing every grievance, calling out exes, and clapping back at strangers. What she saw as honesty came across as bitterness. Followers began to leave, tired of the negativity. Her posts weren't empowering anymore, they were draining. She claimed to be authentic, but her constant need to respond, defend, and provoke made her seem unstable. The brand slogan, "Give Them Lala," stopped representing confidence. It became a warning. What she was giving was drama, and it was wearing thin. Her fame, once a source of power, became a trap. The luxury, the attention, the validation, she couldn't let go of it, even as it destroyed her peace. When the scandals multiplied and the endorsements slowed down, Lala's identity seemed to crumble. She wasn't the fearless reality star anymore. She was a woman fighting to stay relevant, clinging to the very chaos that had made her famous. Her career became a reflection of her contradictions: empowerment mixed with ego, confidence shadowed by insecurity. She talked about growth, but rarely demonstrated it. Even her castmates began to distance themselves, tired of the endless feuds. What had started as fiery entertainment had turned into emotional exhaustion for everyone around her. By this stage, Lala Kent had become her own worst enemy. Her name was synonymous with controversy, her brand with instability. She wasn't the relatable, resilient woman fans once admired. She was the cautionary tale of what happens when fame becomes your only identity. Reality TV had given her everything: money, visibility, power, but it had also stripped away her humility and authenticity. The more she fought to control her image, the more it fell apart. Lala Kent's story isn't just one of scandal and heartbreak, it's a study in the cost of fame. Her rise and fall reveal what happens when a person confuses attention with love and drama with strength. Her fiery debut made her unforgettable, but her inability to evolve made her tragic. In the end, she gave the world exactly what she promised. She gave them Lala, unfiltered, unapologetic, and utterly consumed by the image she built. But behind the bravado, behind the designer clothes and headline moments, there's a warning about what happens when the spotlight becomes your lifeline. Lala Kent didn't just lose fans or friends along the way, she lost herself.